Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Regina and Friends Crime Chat. Um, you guys let me know if you can hear me clearly. They've added a new feature so that you can adjust your volume. Do I sound good? Can you hear me clear? Do I need to turn it up? Can you hear me now? Okay, you can hear me fine. Good. Am I too loud? Okay. Sorry, technical difficulty. Okay, so we've got some breaking news out of Arkansas, you guys. And this is actually really scary news. Um, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. Give me 1 second so I can set up this. This is the initial report that come out of Devil's Den, Arkansas, and it said an urgent manhunt is underway out of after husband and wife were killed at an Arkansas park over the weekend while hiking with their two young daughters, according to police. Arkansas State Police were notified of a double homicide at Devil's Den State Park, located near a northwestern corner of the state, about 2 p.m. on Saturday. And this is just jumping everywhere and it's driving me nuts. Let me switch over to this. Let's see here. Switch over to this one because I have multiple ones ready. We're just going to switch right over to the Arkansas State Police one. Okay. One moment, please. Okay. So this is the second report that has come out, and this information is accurate. They were first reporting that this man was in black shorts and a tank top, and they have come out and clarified that. And this is the follow up report, um, but it still covers the most important things to take away from the situation that people need to know. And it says West Fork, Arkansas. A couple who was killed at Devil's Den State Park on Saturday, July the 26th of 2025, was hiking with their two daughters when they were attacked. The girls, who are 7 and 9, were not injured and are safe with family members. The victims have been identified as Clint David Brink, 43, and Kristen Amanda Brink, 41, who recently moved to Prairie Grove from another state. At about 2:40 p.m., Arkansas State Police, ASP, was notified of a double homicide at the park, located in Washington County. Mr. and Mrs. Brink were found dead on a walking trail. ASP's Criminal Investigation Division, CID, is handling the suspected homicide. Investigators are asking those visiting the park on Saturday to check cell phone photos and videos or GoPro camera footage for images of the suspect. They are also asking residents of the area surrounding the park to notify Arkansas State Police, ASP, if they have access to security and game camera footage. The area of the park where the incident occurred remains cordoned off and secured by law enforcement. The park is located in a remote and rural area where the terrain is rugged, vegetation is thick, and there is no cell phone service. On Saturday, July the 27th, 2025, Arkansas State Police issued an updated description of the suspect. After receiving additional information, investigators now believe he was wearing a long sleeved shirt with sleeves rolled up rather than a tank top as originally reported. The suspect is an unknown white male with a medium build. He was wearing dark pants, and this part creeps me out, and I'll tell you why in just a second. He was wearing dark pants, a dark ball cap, and sunglasses. The suspect had a black backpack and was wearing fingerless gloves. He was seen driving toward a park exit in a black four-door sedan. The suspect's vehicle may be a Mazda with a license plate covered by electrical or duct tape. It may have been traveling on State Highway 170 or State Highway 220 near the park. Anyone with images of the suspect, information about the suspect, or his whereabouts should contact Arkansas State Police Troop L at 479 751 6663. Boy, the devil's in the details, ain't he? Hold on just a moment. My headphones are. Okay. Investigators urge anyone with photos or video to not post footage on social media, as this may inadvertently jeopardize the investigation. Shay Lewis, Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, issued a statement saying, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic events that occurred at Devil's Den State Park. Our hearts are with the victims, loved ones during this incredibly difficult time. The safety of our visitors and staff is our highest priority, and we are working closely with Arkansas State Police and various law enforcement officials as the investigation continues. We have increased law enforcement presence in our state parks. Our park rangers are fully commissioned law enforcement officers, and they are actively engaged in ensuring the safety and security of our park guests. We remain committed to supporting the ongoing investigation and to maintaining Arkansas state parks as safe, welcoming places for all." The investigation is ongoing, and the Arkansas State Police is pursuing all leads to apprehend the suspect. ASP, Arkansas State Police, is collaborating with all local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. I want to thank the public and our media partners for their support as we pursue the man responsible for this heinous crime. Heinous crime, said Arkansas State Police Colonel Mike Hagar. We are using all available resources to apprehend this suspect and bring him to justice. COL means colonel, right? Anyways, this is the Cabinet Secretary, Mike Hagar. This is straight from the Arkansas Department of Public Safety, and they are putting a call out to everyone to be on the lookout for this man. He has killed this beautiful, beautiful man and woman. He's destroyed a family. These little girls were with their parents. They're only 7 and 9 years old. 7 and 9. And their parents were taken from them. It's horrible. It's actually quite shocking. It's actually quite shocking. But with this updated information, I can't help but wonder. Oh, let's see, who do we have? Hey, there's Eddie. Hey, Eddie.
What's going on, Regina?
Bad things, man. Bad things.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been listening. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
are they going to get out there and get it on the TV, get it on news, radio? That there is a possible SKer out there.
You can say that here, Eddie.
That there's a possible serial killer on the loose.
Yeah. You me show you something creepy? It's amazing that you said that. Do you remember the experience I had with a serial killer growing up?
Yep.
Okay. His name was Robert Eugene Brashers,
Brash.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know what his disguise he wore? And this just, I got chills up and down my spine.
No.
His, his, he wore sunglasses and a hat. Do you know
Is that
how I
what they
know that?
mostly wear?
Huh?
That's what. Was he a trucker?
No,
No.
no, no.
That's crazy. Sunglasses and a hat.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what them kids seen.
Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. Um, so you know that I grew up babysitting Deborah, Robert's daughter, and I had run-ins with Robert Brashers, the serial killer. And I took a photo of him and his wife's sister, and Deborah and the twins, April and Angela, right? He was wearing. Let me just show you. Let me pull it up real quick. We'll stop sharing this real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking. This is just like, and whenever I tell you another piece of this, it's just it blows my mind, the coincidences, and not to mention, but Jessica Page Kemp just reported someone messing around at the bottom of her car and ended up dead on the other side of Arkansas at a state park. And with serial killers, they escalate. I don't know if people realize that, but they escalate. And I'm not entirely sure that they're not recognizing that something's going on at these state parks finally. And that's why they're calling in the feds and everybody, because I think they realize they have something serious on their hands. What do you think?
Yep.
So,
I always tell people to be careful when you go to a camping ground, state park,
yeah,
campground.
listen, you guys, it's this serious. It's not a matter of, oh, I can go with my husband walking in the park and our kids and we're going to be fine, because that's not guaranteed. This man attacked a husband and a wife with their two daughters with them hiking on a trail. So not only do you need to be vigilant, but if you are going to go out to a state park with your family, might I suggest taking self defense mechanisms, devices, no matter what it may be, um, because it's important. Hold on just a second. Yeah, this is what I was going to show you real quick. This is what like gives me total goosebumps and like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's just my brain because of what happened, but if you can see the screen right there, that's Robert Brashers. Okay. Do you see this sketch of him
Which
wearing his
one?
sunglasses?
Yep.
This wearing his sunglasses, right? He's wearing his hat and sunglasses, hat and glasses, right? Now, if you look right here, let's see if it'll open up the full picture. Hold on. I took a photo. These are his victims. I took a photo when I was 17, babysitting Deborah and the girls for Rose. Um, I think I can look it up. Family photo. This, I took this picture. You can't see it, can you? Yeah, you can. This is a picture I took whenever I was babysitting Deborah. This is Deborah, and this is April and Angela, the twins. This is Rose's sister, and this is Rose. My father has a child with her, with Rose. Like, when I tell you I knew these people, this house right here, this is the house they were living in when he murdered the Shears. It's on Lake Street in Paragould, Arkansas. The bedroom right on the other side of this living room, like just right on the other side of this wall right here. Like here's this chair, and then there was a wall right here. This is the bedroom that had the bunk beds in it on the other side of this wall, where Robert Brashers told me he wanted to shut my pretty little mouth up for good. And I called my parents and said, come get me. And he attacked, I don't remember if it was April or Angela, but it was one of the twins, and like attacked her and was dragging her down the hall by the hair of her head. And like she broke her pinky during the fight. And I had to wrestle to get her away from him and back in the bedroom before my my parents that adopted me came to pick me up. It was crazy. But do you notice his disguise?
Yep.
Sunglasses and a hat, right? Glasses and the sketches. Okay. So there's that, right? Now, do you know how Robert Brashers died? He ended his life in a hotel room. Do you know why? Because he was switching out the license plates and serial numbers of the vehicles that he was driving to try to keep the cops from catching up with him, right? So we have a guy that is, Robert was using that to deflect himself from police, right?
Yep.
Now we have this guy who is putting electrical tape over the license plate of his vehicle. And that's in the news reports. Did I cover that yet? Or did I get to it? No, I read the whole thing, didn't I? Yeah, where it said the suspect vehicle may be a Mazda, and it's black, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know. They say it's a black Mazda, black sedan. It's four-door. They're thinking it's a Mazda, but the license plate was covered with tape, like electrical or duct tape. So it just hits me, you know what I'm saying? Like Robert ended his life in a hotel room in 1999 because he thought the cops were going to catch him over a fictitious license plate. And what he was doing is he was switching license plates on his vehicles with other, with cars and random parking lots and stuff. And that's he was trying to, stay out of prison again after he had committed all these murders. And he was in the hotel room, and they went to go ask him about the license plate, and he thought that, well, they'd finally caught him for his homicides too, you know what I'm saying? But they hadn't yet. It wasn't until the end of 2017, Deborah called me and was like, you're not going to believe this. It's about my dad. Are you sitting down? And I'm like, let me guess, he's a serial killer, you know? And she was like, how do you know? How did you know? And I'm like, I've just always known, And she was like, well, they just came and took the state of Missouri, just came and asked for an ID sample because they got a hit through Ancestry. And they think that my dad is a serial killer. And she said, I don't have to wait on the test. I know he is. And we started talking about like the crimes that we knew about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like we talked for hours and put it all together, and we knew that he was a serial killer. And it's not that I'm trying to alarm the public like in some kind of way and say, oh, this is definitely a serial killer. But with the other recent homicide or the other recent unexplained deaths at state parks in Arkansas, I think that's the reason they have brought the FBI in. I think Arkansas thinks it has a problem. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And it says right here that I mean, when was the last time you seen the state bring in the feds this quick in a case?
Because there's some ties to something.
Yeah.
There's some connections to other cases that haven't been reported.
Well, not only that, but we have to think of something, right? I mean,
well, I'm just saying there's an MO. Every serial killer has an MO.
Yeah.
Okay. So say, for example, there's an unsolved case that wasn't reported on the news. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because not every homicide case is going to be reported to the news. Okay. So say they had a homicide case that wasn't reported, and this homicide, these people were done the same way as the previous person, and it's connected. And then say, for example, hypothetically, in another state or another town, same way, it's connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's connections, they're going to bring in the FBI.
Yeah.
Because it's probably crossing counties and state lines and jurisdictions. So the only way to work the case is bring in the FBI.
Right. And how random is it and how scary is it that this is just people walking down a trail with their family, you know, and someone like premeditated. Eddie, this is the scary part, right? This person went out there to hurt somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They covered their license plate with duct tape or some kind of electrical tape with tape and drove to the park and were brazen enough to attack a mother and father whose two daughters were with them. And I don't know if like the family was like stretched out over the trail a little bit, maybe, you know, like a little ways apart, a few feet or something, you know, like 15, 20 feet between them or whatever. You know, kids can lag behind or whatever. But you think you'd be safe. I mean, Devil's Den is like, it's a pretty busy park in Arkansas during the summer. I mean, it's beautiful. Have you seen pictures of it?
No.
Okay, I've been there. It has this beautiful waterfall and just there's caves up there. I mean, it's amazing. Okay. Devil's
Now it's
Den
going
is
to be
beautiful.
haunted.
Oh, well, that's real fun to think about now, isn't it?
They're going to have to put security personnel out there.
Yeah. But you know what? I doubt he's gonna strike in the same place twice. And sadly, if
No,
it
but the
is,
reason why they're going to put security personnel out there is for other people's comfort.
yes, I do believe that they will. They will. They'll have a heightened sense of security there, but they'll also have a heightened sense of security at every other park too. I think. You know what I mean?
I
Hey,
know a
Eddie.
lot of parks around here that have cameras where you don't know it.
Eddie, can you please take over for like 30, 45 seconds? I have got to go get a drink. My cup is empty.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'll be right back.
In my humble opinion, I know it's a state park, but I think they should have cameras at entrances or certain points of traffic because of instances like these. Or in case of a missing person, you know, they came through this area of the park. They were last seen entering here at this entrance. Okay, where could they have gone from that point? I'm not saying put cameras everywhere, but like at busy spots. You know, because people do go missing from campgrounds. People do get lost. You know, so having a heightened security system, you're able to tap into it and say, okay, this is the time they went through it, this area. That's my humble opinion.
Right. And that's the reason they're asking everyone for any kind of footage. That's the reason they're asking everyone for any kind of footage. Um, like any kind of trail cams, any kind of GoPros. If you were at Devil's Den State Park, they're asking for anything they can get. Any kind of information, video from the people that they can get. Exactly, Connie. Sunglasses and a hat. It's scary. But I think that now that they have a suspect's vehicle, and let's face it, nobody's going to be out there covering their license plate up with tape and stuff, right? That's going out there to not do something nefarious, right? I mean, it's that simple. But here's also the secondary problem with that. Do you know how common four-door black Mazdas are and black four-door sedans?
Well, black Mazdas are not very common. I'll tell you that right now. If it's a Mazda and it's black, it's not very common. Okay. You don't see a black Mazda very often. And it depends on the year it was made, too.
The newer ones.
What, a 2024 or 2025?
No, I don't know the exact year. They haven't given us a year, but they have a dealership in Little Rock.
So the exact number, like say hypothetically, let's just say it was a four-door SUV, right?
It was a sedan. They said specifically.
Sedan?
Like they got it. Yeah, they got it on camera. But the person had the license plate tape over it. I don't know why they haven't released, an image of the vehicle, like from the security. But maybe it's, to try and, I don't know, keep everything under wraps. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, wow.
The exact number of black, I'm just saying if it was 2024, Mazda sedans manufactured is unavailable.
Yeah, but it says that they're common in Arkansas. It says because they're common in the U.S., they're very common. I don't know. They got a dealer in, oh, yeah, they have a dealer in Rogers, Arkansas. They got one in Little Rock.
Okay, so the Mazda sedans are commonly black, yes.
Yeah, but they're common cars.
I've just never been a fan of Mazda.
Yeah. I've never owned one. Anyways, but that's besides the point. That's neither here nor there. But if it is even a relatively common car, right?
Yep.
And the license plate was covered. But then again, look how common Brian Koberger's car was. Right?
That's what I'm wondering if the kids could have identified him.
The kids ran to a forestry station and reported what happened. Like the kids were present. So there's witnesses. There's witnesses. Well, the family had just moved there from Prairie Grove, or they had just moved to Prairie Grove from out of state. So like they just literally moved into Arkansas, Prairie Grove. Um, Sadly, from everything I'm gathering, you guys, they think this was a completely random attack on these people. Like they were just victims, as much as I hate to say it, victims of opportunity. I mean, so much to the point that they are literally putting extra police patrols and wildlife commission people and stuff and law enforcement in all of the state parks. So they think, I mean, there's something, in my opinion, that leads them to believe this is a systemic problem. Would you agree with that, Eddie?
Because they're bringing the FBI in so fast. I'm reading Seashell's Prosperity's comments. I don't think, we already, okay, so hypothetically, someone we worked with, or I don't think it's somebody he worked with. Because they just moved out of state to Arkansas with the family. I'm wondering if he moved to Arkansas for a job opportunity. Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of hypotheticals out there.
Okay, I couldn't. You're not going to believe this, Eddie. This is hilarious, but I couldn't figure out why you kept over talking me and weren't listening. And guess what? I've been muted. Isn't that beautiful?
You muted me?
No, I muted me.
Oh.
I was like, Eddie would never do this. What's going on? And I looked finally at the second screen and it's like, you are muted. And I'm like, yep, there you go. So the thing is with the RV Wi-Fi, the cellular reception, you got to think this is mountains. This is a mountainous lake area, like natural mountains and lakes, and stuff like that, that were created by natural means or are natural. But the thing is it's in a really mountainous, hilly region, and
so no cell phone reception.
right, it's spotty at best. Do you remember how whenever I was out at Lake Ashbaugh, how it kept my signal? It kept I kept, what's it called?
Freezing.
Freezing and yeah. It's because the cell phone reception, even though there is some in some spots, it's spotty and it's poor quality at best. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So even if there is, someone with a hot spot or something, thanks, honey. Even if there is someone with like a hot spot or Wi-Fi, it's going to be shoddy because the cellular reception is shoddy. It's just location. It's very, very rural. I can take you places in this county where there's no reception on a cell phone still. Arkansas, they call it the natural state for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
what I'm wondering, okay, this could be because, and this is hypothetical, right? It could be like a scene out of a movie. They could have been targeted and not the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what I think happened is maybe there was like a little bit of distance between them. You know what I'm saying? And maybe this was an ambush attack. That's what I'm gonna guess.
Because they didn't get rid of the kids.
Well, I'm thinking that the girls seen the attack happening on their parents and ran.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the person was so involved in having to deal with the father after he started attacking, or whichever one of the parents he attacked first, that the other parent likely put themselves in the harm's path for the kids. Does that make sense? To give them a chance to run. Or
I'm
maybe
just
they
hoping.
tried
I'm
defending the
just
other
hoping
spouse.
it's not a serial killer, and if it is, I hope they catch him fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if not, more lives are going to end up. And the problem with serial killers, they can't stop. It's like a hunger.
Yeah. And this sounds like this person took a lot of risk, right? He done this in broad daylight. But it also sounds like he's criminally smart because he taped over his license plate. You know how easy it would be to just leave the scene and just rip the tape off and throw it out the window somewhere? You know what I mean?
Well, you can't rip the tape off the tag if it's in the back. You have to get to a certain location and then peel the tape off and go.
Well,
But you have to
right.
get to a location that has no cameras.
Well, there's places all over that don't have cameras there.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's really secluded. Like that's the thing I noticed. And I mean, it's like the other cases where people have come up missing recently and been found dead at parks here in Arkansas. It's like a something similar that's happening in all these cases. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it.
We just need more info.
Yeah. We did need more info, but it sounds like that this was an ambush attack, like a blitz attack. You know what I mean?
Then there'd have to be more than one person for an ambush. Being attacked. Like doing the aggressing, it would have to be more than one person.
What do you mean?
Well, because when you ambush somebody, you just don't ambush two people by yourself.
But if the family was scattered out a little bit, he might have been in a position he only seen the woman at first.
Now, did he shoot him or did he stab him?
That information has not been released to the public yet. They're not
Okay.
saying, but there's somewhat of a clue that this was a vicious attack, right? Because it says heinous crime.
So somebody fought back.
I would assume there were two people,
I'm
two
hoping somebody
adults.
fought back.
Yeah. Well, that would be a chance, right, for DNA or whatever. And they said that he was wearing uh uh weightlifters gloves, right?
So how do they know what this guy's wearing? Unless
The
there's cameras there.
no, the little girls, the daughters seen the attack.
Okay, so there's a lot that they saw, and there's little being released.
Right. I mean, they just updated the first statements about what the guy was wearing. They initially come out and said that he was wearing a tank top and shorts, but in fact, he was wearing long sleeve pants and a long sleeve shirt with the cuffs rolled up, the sleeves rolled up.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
And we have surviving witnesses to the attack, the daughters, the 7 and the 9-year-old. And at that age, they're probably going to be pretty good at, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What do
Especially the
you think?
9-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of them. I mean, they were capable enough to run from the situation and call, get help, run to the ranger station and get help. That's how they like the it was reported. And then the cops show up on scene and sadly, both of the parents
Those poor
have
kids,
been
man.
murdered. I know. Like, this is a trauma that's going to sadly affect them for the rest of their lives. I mean, their mom and their dad are gone, you know?
I hope they get the justice they deserve.
Yeah, seriously. But Eddie, you know what I say a lot of the times? I hate being right.
But you said you said you had your opinion and your thoughts, and you tried to warn police officers, and they didn't want to listen.
Yep.
So
And
things could have been prevented.
yeah, I don't think they wanted to admit it, or they just couldn't see it. Does that make sense? And I'm
Yep,
not knocking police. I'm not knocking police, but I feel like, and this is my opinion, I feel like certain things were overlooked and not taken as seriously as they should have been.
yep,
And I believe that this was preventable. I really do. Um, I knew something was up, and there's part of a situation that I haven't come out publicly, but especially now I can't. You know what I mean?
yep.
Um, and talk about. So
So yeah, the kids are going to need therapy, a lot of therapy.
yeah. See, but here's what scares me, right? Like Robert Brashers, whenever he was this brazen, like he had already killed someone else. So I'm thinking there's something else going on here. I think that they're going to end up finding someone else is missing from a park or something. Um, and that's terrible, but if this is what I think it was, and it was a random attack on two strangers at a park, and he was looking for victims on that trail, then it's going to be a situation. This person's going to have a history of this kind of violence, right? Um, you remember Rachel Mortensen?
Yep,
Um, her attacker broke into a house in California, right? Had assaulted someone. And I'm sure that there's even more victims out there whenever it comes to him. I don't know that those cases will ever be solved because, well, as long as he's behind bars, right? Um, and that's just the way the system looks at it to a certain degree. But the thing is this going to be a case like that, or are we going to end up with a wake of victims that aren't even known, that this person has done all this? Does that make sense? Are there gonna be more victims out there come a week or a month from now that we find out is out there?
who knows?
Whenever they say, okay, so they say this guy was wearing gloves, right? He was wearing like weightlifting gloves, right? So that means that the fingertips are open, right?
Yep,
Okay.
because he wasn't. They didn't say motorcycle gloves. They said weightlifting gloves.
Yep, they said weightlifting gloves. So I'm willing to bet his DNA is left at the crime scene. If nothing else, maybe in, you know, a few weeks, a couple of days, maybe because it's such a dire situation, the parks aren't safe. It's going to impact tourist Arkansas. I don't know if you know it, but Arkansas is a big tourist state. So that means that, the parks are going to be losing revenue. So they're going to be all over this anyways, right? To try to secure the parks and stuff again. So they're going to be, they've already brought the FBI in, everything. So they're working this case as hard as they can, right? From a law enforcement perspective. I wonder if they have a DNA source and they've got it on the rush to the lab or something because this person was wearing, they're saying weightlifter style gloves. What do you think?
That's a good question. Who knows?
But we know this person is criminally sophisticated and they planned for this. They wore dark clothing. I wonder if they were there all night waiting for someone. Just a thought, just a question in my mind. Um, they wore dark clothes. They wore a disguise. They wore sunglasses and a hat, a dark hat, and they taped their license plate to cover it in a very rural area with very limited cellular reception. Yes, I think you're right about that, Connie. I think that they're going to make this a priority, hopefully. I really do. I hope that they make this a priority because we've got something going on at our parks, you guys. We really do. Um, it's a dangerous situation. I believe that this person is a predator that has been stalking parks. I don't think this is their first rodeo, so to speak. Um, and I have my reasons for that, but just there's so many similarities just leaping out. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it, right, Eddie?
Yep.
The hat, the glasses, the dark clothes, the and in my opinion, this is escalation. Um, this is someone on a rampage. It's pretty brazen to go out in broad daylight and attack someone at a park, regardless. Especially Devil's Den, because Devil's Den is really popular. Like it's a popular destination for families in Arkansas. So this is the important thing that people need to take away from this. You guys, I'm not saying to be afraid going to the parks, Connie. That's not what I'm saying. But I would say this: if you are going to go to the parks right now, um,
Be
they are
alert.
going to have yeah, be very alert. But not only that, you need to take something, even if you are going with your family or a date. Go and walk at the park, whatever. If you're going to be at the parks or you're going to be at any of the rest stops or any of the backwoods areas, you need to make sure that you have something for self defense in case of an emergency, whether it is bear spray, whether you are permitted to conceal carry or carry. In the state of Arkansas, if you are going anywhere for recreational, outdoors, fishing, hunting, um, or in a county other than the one you live in, going to the park, you can carry, open carry. Um, but be vigilant. Pay attention to your surroundings. Um, Make sure that you are in an area that you have some kind of cellular service to get help if you need. Uh, be vigilant. Be vigilant to protect you and your families because this is a very serious situation. There's a 7-year old and a 9-year old little girl that are never gonna be able to hug their parents again. They have just witnessed one of the most brutal acts that a child can witness. And this was a husband and wife and their 2 daughters just walking a trail at a park. And it goes deeper than that. Like the parks in America are becoming a hunting ground for predators. And I mean all kinds of predators. And if you look at the amount you got Rachel Morton, right? Rachel Morton. You've got people that are going to parks camping and ended up dead, and we still don't know how they died. You got Jessica Page Kemp, right? You've got now this family that's been attacked at a park. You've got, um, oh, there's so many. I can't even think of any more right now off the top of my head. But if you go Google people that went missing at parks, well, first of all, Devil's Den is probably, or people that have died, have been murdered or went missing at parks. Devil's Den is going to pop up because that just happened and it's starting to catch fire all over the country. But um, it's sad. It's sad because I think that there's things going on. I look into a lot of different cases, Eddie, and it's sad because in this case, I really think this is preventable. And they didn't hear alarms whenever they should have been heard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but you guys, you have to be vigilant if you're going to be going to the parks. Um, Me personally, for my choice with my family, we're not going to be going to the parks right now. Um, I don't feel like it's safe. And while I do trust our officers and our forest rangers to do their jobs to the fullest and to hopefully bring, this alleged murderer to justice, I just don't feel like that's a risk I'm ready or prepared to take with my family. So, I'm probably going to go to the water park, that is a pay park with slides and everything instead of going out to the lake like I normally do with my family. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, anyways, you guys, it's scary out there. It really is. And there's someone literally on the loose that just murdered, um, a mother and father, uh, right there with their, you know what I'm saying, with their kids there.
All right, Regina, I'm gonna drop down. Be safe.
Yep. I'm
I'm
fixing
gonna
to
let
end
you.
it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish ending out your show.
All right. I appreciate you, Eddie.
All right.
All right. So, um, you guys, I just want to thank you for being here. This story is very important. There are clips and videos. It's starting to really pick up in the public view because this is a very, very serious situation. This was a broad, an attack on a family, a mother and father dead in broad daylight. The person is apparently criminally sophisticated to the point that he wore a disguise because that's exactly what that hat and sunglasses is. That's a disguise, okay? And dark clothing. Um, I think that the parents probably ended up putting themselves even further on the line in protecting their children. And while I'm glad that the children survived, I'm so heartbroken for them that they have just lost their entire world. It's been stolen from them. There's a lot of evil out here, some really evil, evil people. And we have to be vigilant. Sadly, you'd think you'd be able to go to a park with your family and walk a trail or go swimming at the lake and be safe. But we're living in a society today that it just seems like the higher the population goes, the worse, the more people there are doing this kind of evil to each other. So you got to be vigilant out here. Um, I would suggest taking self protection if you are going to go to the parks. I am going to limit my family's interaction with any kind of parks and stuff. Hey, Dreams, it's good to see you. Um, I'm gonna limit my interaction going, to the parks and stuff. They are putting extra patrols at the state parks for a reason. I don't think that they think this is an isolated attack. I think that they're calling the FBI in and as many departments as they can to help find this man because I think that this is someone who is escalated and someone who is angry. You have to be pretty brazen to attack a family walking a trail. Um, like he just does not care. He's at a point. Robert Brashers escalated, and I'm not saying that this is a serial killer, but I think it's someone that laid in wait, covered their license plate up, and wore a disguise to go to a park and murder a family. They did let the daughters go, so I can't say for sure if this is a targeted attack on these people, but it doesn't seem like that's what the evidence is pointing to, especially since they're putting more police force in all of the parks. So that's just my opinion and speculation. But you guys, it is so yeah, Connie, they did this and he did this in broad daylight. The guy did this in broad daylight. So I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know what was going on. It's important that you protect yourselves. Um, it's crazy out here in this world. There's real evil people that can do this kind of stuff out here. So stay vigilant, lock your windows and doors. Remember to be kind to one another. Um, Kindness is free, and hate can cost us so much. So just go ahead and share a smile and save a life, because you never know. The life you save might just be your own. And with that said, you guys, I appreciate you being here so much. Please take your time to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps to support the channel, and it's free. And with that said, you guys, y'all have a blessed night, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.